What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a deep look into one of the most anticipated games of the year, Starfield. This game has so much riding on it. Bethesda has not released a major game since Fallout 4, and it's been 25 years since their last new IP. The other side of the coin too is Xbox really needs this game to deliver in the biggest way possible. In this video, we're going to cover the most important details we know so far before the game officially launches in September. So with that being said, let's dive into Starfield. So Starfield is the story about you trying to uncover the biggest questions humanity has ever asked. Why are we here? What is out there? There's so many mysteries that you're going to be able to solve in this game as a part of Constellation. The year is 2330, which is about 300 years from today. Constellation is a group of human explorers that set out to discover the universe like humanity has never done before. You can, of course, create your own character and assign traits and skills as you go along. Some of those traits include things like Serpent's Embrace. You grew up worshipping the Great Serpent. You have grav jumping that can boost you even higher, health and endurance, but failure to jump often enough can lead to a decrease in health and endurance. It's kind of like an addiction of sorts. There's another trait called Hero Worship. You've earned the attention of an annoying, adoring fan who will show up randomly and jabber at you incessantly. This is kind of a throwback to Oblivion if you didn't recognize. On the plus side, he will give you gifts though. There's another trait called Kid Stuff. Your parents are alive and well and you can visit them at their home, but 10% of all the money you earn is automatically deducted and sent to them. Doesn't sound like a great deal. These are just a few of the many traits you can use to build your own space explorer, and you will be allowed to have 3 traits at first, although it's unclear if more can be gained through the game as you progress. Skills include pickpocketing, shooting weapons like guns, endurance and health, persuasion, and more classic Bethesda style skills. We also know that there are indeed 1000 planets in this game and the most handcrafted content in any Bethesda game ever, along with the most voice lines in any Bethesda game ever, sitting well above 150,000 lines of dialogue. Impressive to say the least. You can also have companions too, like Vasco, who should be able to help you with storage, has weapon systems, and can assist you in guidance for unexplored worlds. Lastly, before we dive into the story aspect to this game, I want to use this next part as a segue. There are indeed factions in this game that you can join, which is the perfect part to jump into the story. So being a part of Constellation is amazing, but it's not the entire story for this game. Humanity has been divided up into 2 major factions: the Freestar Collective, who are at an uneasy peace after a recent war, and the United Colonies, the largest faction in the game. This means humanity is not united in this time period, and ultimately it will be up to you to decide what type of person you will be in this world. Humanity exists in settled space, which is 50 light years from our own solar system today. 2 key points of interest in this game will be the both capital cities for both head factions. New Atlantis is the capital of the United Colonies, and Aquila City is the capital of the Freestar Collective. We also saw that as you travel through Aquila City and United Colonies, you can see references to a war that took place not too long from this time period. Ryujin Industries is the 3rd faction we know about, and what we know so far is that they are a mega corporation. Think Jeff Bezos' Amazon. The Crimson Fleet is a group of space pirates, which, for the record, that's pretty cool. They even have a Jolly Roger, which as a One Piece fan, I love so much. These guys, however, make no mistake, are bad people. Or are they? This is part of speculation on my end, but being a bad person in this game is subjective. Is the man who steals bread to feed his family a bad person? Maybe to the store owner, he is. However, to his family, he's a provider. So while we don't know much about the Crimson Fleet, we do know that they are space pirates, but we can't necessarily say they're bad people until we actually see the story for ourselves. There are other minor factions in this game as well, like House of Varun, which is a cult of space zealots, the Enlightened, which is a religious organization, the Sanctum Universum, another religious church, the Great Serpent Worshippers, of religious space sect, Ecliptic Mercenaries, a group of mercenaries for hire, and Spacers, dangerous marauders. Again, from what I can gather, these are just minor factions, but still worthy of the mention, and to be honest, House of Varun sounds funny. Lastly, the most powerful faction by sheer military and political influence is indeed the United Colonies, like I said. The common goal for every faction is to collect the artifacts. Much is not known about these artifacts. They can cause humans to see dreams. They also, when every piece is collected, can uncover some secrets humanity has always wanted to learn. These artifacts are spread throughout the galaxy in settled space. They also seem to be of high value regardless of the person even understands the true nature of what they have. So that's kind of a breakdown about the story of Starfield. Let's talk about what we learned at the Xbox showcase. Number 1, the game's going to be running at 30 FPS, which was a huge point of controversy on Twitter. Now for the record, I just have to say I really do not care what the game runs at, whether it's 30, 60, or 120. I'm probably going to be playing on a PC, but I also understand why console players would want it to be at 60. But let me just say this. Games like Legend of Zelda run at 30 frames a second, and maybe not even a smooth 30 frames a second, but we still love Zelda. Tears of the Kingdom is amazing, just like Breath of the Wild is amazing. Frame rate is not a determining factor on if a game is good or bad. Now don't get me wrong, consistent frame rate is very important, but if that's a consistent 30 FPS at 4K, it's going to be a really good game. And in my opinion, people have to drop this narrative around Xbox as being the world's most powerful console. That was just a media marketing chip that they used to try and sell and hype up the Xbox. And don't get me wrong, on paper it technically is stronger than the PS5, but we know how game development is. It's not easy to optimize games for these consoles, especially for Xbox, because there's two different SKUs, the Xbox Series X and S. On top of that, building games for consoles in general is just not as good as you would think it is. I mean, look, I love gaming on a console as much as the next guy, but definitively the best way to play games will always be on a PC, because you're not handicapped most times by things like an SSD or a CPU. On a PC, you can build a game to be as powerful and beautiful as you want. On a console, there are certain limits, and those limits are still not bad at all. You can enjoy these games with those limits just fine. So overall, my thoughts on 30 FPS is the game looked amazing. I saw it with my own eyes at the Xbox Game Showcase like we all did, and I think everybody on Twitter, it was #1 trending, can say that yeah, this game looks pretty good. It's going to be just fine at 30 FPS. And who knows, they might do 60 FPS in the future. Now, I also want to talk about the bundles that we saw for Starfield, because while they weren't directly revealed at the showcase, they were revealed afterwards on GameStop and other places like Best Buy and Walmart. So obviously the game is going to be $70 standard, which is basically what the industry has moved to, but on top of that you can get the premium edition and then you can get the collector's edition. Now the standard edition of the game is basically the only edition you can get if you just want to have the game. You also get a deep mining helmet pack and the laser cutter weapon. Basically it's the cheapest version of the game if you're not going to play the game through Xbox Game Pass. The Starfield Premium Edition comes with 5 days early access to the Starfield Shattered Space, the game's first story expansion, Constellation skin pack containing an Equinox laser rifle, spacesuit, helmet, and a boost pack, a digital soundtrack, and art book. Now the big one is the Constellation Edition for Starfield. This is priced at a whopping $300, but before you open your eyes and roll them, let me explain what this comes with. So the Constellation Edition of Starfield comes with a steelbook case, the game as a digital code, no option for disc with the collector's edition, Starfield Chronomark watch, which is a smartwatch, a full-on smartwatch, a watch case, which is customized to the game, and the Constellation patch. Now I also want to note that the Starfield watch that you get is apparently also going to be able to sync with the game. You can also get unique features that come with the watch that also give you added gameplay benefits. At least that's how it was explained. Overall, the collector's edition seems really great, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I am considering buying it, but $300 is a steep price to pay. Lastly, we do know that the game is close to going gold. The pre-orders went live, so this game should be going gold by the time August rolls around, or maybe even July. This last part of the video is just tidbits I may have missed. You can customize your ship in various different ways. You can even customize the color and build and take other people's ships in space as well and dock them to your own personal docking system where you can access all of the ships that you have taken. You can pilot in space or in the planet, hire your own crew including some of the people in the story like Team Constellation. You can build outposts on different worlds as well. Each skill that you obtain, you can rank up that skill to the highest version of that skill. So for example, if there was a gun skill that gave you accuracy, you can get accuracy gun shooting tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which would be the max. You will encounter humans and aliens in your travels. There is confirmed alien life. The quest system can be procedurally produced, but it is vastly better than 2011's Skyrim, and there's plenty of handcrafted quests as well. We can also see in the gameplay that the combat was completely overhauled and looks much better than, let's say, the Fallout games or any other Bethesda game that we've seen, minus obviously Doom, but that's an id Software game. There's also an article which has a huge sit down with IGN's Ryan McCaffrey, who's the host of Podcast Unlocked, and Todd Howard himself, basically playing Starfield for 1 hour and then talking about it. It's really interesting, so I really highly recommend that you check that out. It's on IGN's website and it should be on their YouTube channel. And that's everything we know about Starfield. The game launches September 6th, 2023, which is just under 100 days away as of recording this video. Starfield, like I said at the beginning of the video, is Xbox's most important game of the generation, and it certainly has a lot of pressure pressure on it to succeed. Now, I can't really say one or the other whether it's going to succeed or fail, but what I will say is everything I saw made me even more excited for the game than I already was. And if Bethesda can deliver a bug-free experience, it looks like Starfield's going to be a game that we talk about for quite some time. But thank you for checking out this video. Hopefully you got some information out of it that you maybe might have missed, and hopefully you enjoyed the content as well. I will be back with some more videos as always. Until next time, peace.